Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In our today's video, we're gonna go and configure that Shopee e-commerce application with you. So the code, it will be with you to test and do all of the things. I'm gonna share the repository link by which you can clone and do every single setup what I'm gonna show you right now. So this is the front page of our application, and as you can see, I'm now running it from my local server. Here is the local setup of that. As you can see in the configuration, we're having in local. So also there is an like the deployed version, and of course we are gonna deploy it today after we building all the structure, because especially in the GitHub all the setup will be ready, but for the deployment we're gonna go configure all and then we're gonna do. And by the way, if you want to get the paid version also there, you can see here, if you click the link, it will be right here to grab it by so far. And we're going to manage about that of our Firebase on that. And regarding of that API, we're going to use that our dummy.json API to go and make all the flexibility here. So as you can see, this is the simple application ground here. So you're going to go and like explore a bit about how we can do that things, because trust me, every single code, it will be with you, so you can try it later, and I'm going to show you how to configure. So first of all, at the top bar, as you can see, a free express shipping on orders, so there is the price value need to be changed, and we are grabbing that value from the .env credentials. So as you can see, when I change there, it's automatically changed. So that would be the 1000 plus should be get the free shopping. If you click, you can have a very good idea about how the things can be done, about the orders value, delivery time, coverage area, and tracking. And also there is the English and other setup. So for the language itself, now we are just supporting that English, but you can also go with for like the localization, you can just fill up to go other language too. And for the USD, as you can see, in especially for the product card, the price is getting for 999, which is coming in USD. If we just put in euro, it can automatically grab the euro. And as you can see, there is a very sophisticated toast masses to go by. You can just go any of the value and that will switch back and provide you the data. So this is pretty simple, and this setup is already done. It will be with you, so you can just grab it by so far. Then we're having our Shopee logo. Also, if you reload, as you can see in our global layer of the loading structure, there is a Shopee, and that is the loading. So this is loading, is customized loading to go and cover up the page how it's gonna look like, because when I'm fetching the product, especially if you go in their dummy.json.com, their product value variation is pretty much extended. But the problem is that this product data is pretty much a very high resolution, so you need to go a much uploading time. So that's why we're keeping that. So you can just go to read their documentation, and all the setup I done it for you, so no need to go and come over here. But for the auth management and others, trust me, everything is the real for with Firebase. So that's what we're gonna set up with you. So you're gonna learn everything. Then we have our search bar. If you click, the suggested product is right here. Also, you can search by itself, and then you can see how search is appearing. So this is how it gonna, you can just search, you see the loading effect and others, everything working perfectly fine. Then we have our login or register. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna create a user to go and passing by. So if I go click on the register on that particular button over here, we're here right now to create account. So join Shopee today and start shopping. So now you can go also like register using the Google account if you are looking forward to. That's up to you. You can also go with your GitHub account. So all things is working perfectly fine, is tested, and it's aligned with the ratio. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try to like this the register. So also after registration, you can also go to your login page to just go and sign in. So you see all the route segment is done in proper way. So we're gonna try to make something very unique. So let's say I'm gonna make that my name of that, and then I'm gonna pass an email address. So let's say I'm gonna make this 99@gmail.com. So be careful. As you can see, I need to remember that. Then I'm going to put a password 1234567 So that will be my password, and 1234567 So you can also test your password here. Also need to make agree to the terms and conditions. Now create an account. Once created, as you can see, the loading is going on, and those fields gonna be disabled also. So you cannot do any other performance and others. So it's gonna take a very feasible time to create that, as I'm running this one in my local, not in the production server. But if I directly go in my production server, that's gonna give us a pretty much good smoothing effect over here. So right now I'm gonna try with my local, but I'm gonna provide you the link to go on that. As you can see, I just because here in the production here I'm already logged in, so the cookie is gonna fill up with that. So I'm gonna just make sign out because I want to log in according to my account. So it was a bad timing to open that link here because all are happening from the cookies. So let's go try to make login. So I'm gonna go with that. Let's say that would be my 99 at gmail.com. And after that, I'm going to just provide my password to go first by hit enter. Now it's signing. So as you can see, sign in successful, and you can customize the toaster the way you like. And after that, I'm having some kind of menu here, my profile, my orders, wishlist, settings, and sign out button. Now I'm not an admin, right? Because I'm just a particular user here, which we're going to view it whenever we are going to valuation our profile. But right now, just keep remember, I'm not an admin, but later on, we're going to try to use an admin account to see all the admin features. Now here also, we can go off the wishlist page, here also the cart page. Then we have our shop banner here. It's just a single banner which just providing you the best collection product over here. You can customize it to just to get or fetch the new latest data as per you want. And once we click, we can just go directly in our products route. So that's what actually is talking about there. And as you can see, we have a very sleek loader. So this is just an skeleton. I provide the timing so that I can show it to you. It's just a very legit skeleton for your overall the structure, how our products page look like. And as we get the data, so now we can see that this structure is properly. We have the all products, discover our complete collection of 194 products. So get the total value of the products. Now from here, we can go shop by category. If you click on the bestseller, that would take the bestseller property here. And also from the bestseller, you can go on the shop by color. If you put the red color, it's going to filter through that red color data and others. So this, you see nothing is right there. So I'm going to just remove the red color. And also you can go by the brand if you want. Also you can go directly by the price. So this is all the data layer is right here. You can also clear all the single filter from there. You can go with the grid view, and also you can go and assume to make that in a list view. So this is a very, very simple and very understandable manner on how the design can be working through. Even we're not building the API, but the route setup here, if you just go of the folder structure here, as you know, we are building it using the Next.js. So all the setup over here, especially if we open the API, we have our admin API route. It's all a route, right? Admin analytics, orders, setup, states, users. So these all are routes for the auth, for the checkout, and for the orders and tests for test purposes, and for the user. And by the way, you're gonna grab every single thing as free. So no worries about that. So many setup gonna be with you right there. So now we're gonna go and about that shop by category here. I forgot about that little menu over here, which is home, products, categories, offers, and sign out button here. It's the same button how it gonna work in the same area. If you click on the shop by category, like I want to, and this button is as you can see, and there is one more thing is which I need to remind you. This is fully responsive. You can see this entire structure fully responsive to go and customize with that. So that is a very good kick on that. So I can, if I click on that, let's say go to categories as the groceries, and as you can see, the groceries is already being checked, and that's how we're gonna go and combine all the setup. If we just click on the view categories, especially to view our entire category statement, right? How many categories we had? We want to see all of those categories, because right now if we click, it's gonna taking back to the product. So now we can go the shop by categories. We can see 24 categories, 194 products, and 9+ brands. So we can now explore all the category segment, and this is the very, very interesting thing, how we set up the loading, right? This is the global loader, right? So global loader gonna all the global scenario gonna coming up. Now here is the category. So I just render the first page of the categories. If I go here, as you can see the loading here, because this rendering the second pages of the category. So this is how we are combining that. The same things also happening, especially in the product. So if you just go in the pagination, how the pagination gonna be look like, if I go here, as you can see, that's loading the products. So every time you're gonna scroll down, it's gonna load more and more products. So this is the way you can go and combine it all together. So this what we are building, very legit, pretty solid on that. Now we are having that mega sale. So this is the offer. So if you just click on that, you can go either shop now page to view the products, or you can go directly on the particular offer page where you can see all of the offer data. Is just combining it and bring that for you together. And in the offers page here, we can just find that special offers. So this is the data here, and we can also see one breadcrumb here. So mega sales, and this all products is actually going for offer. And as in offer, we want you to load more if you're recurring to view the products, because some people, they don't like to see the orders like offers together. So I'm just gonna be forcing if anyone going to do that. You can also go with the discount. If I want to go at the 40% of the discount, I can just go nothing there. If we go in the 20%, if the product is available, it's gonna show up nothing there. If we go in the 10%, I think, yeah, there is the product. And also you can just make everything cut from there. Also there is the same pattern of that grid view and the list view. So it's a very concat value on there. I can just go home from the breadcrumb, because it's gonna go take back me to the home. Now after the offer, we have our best sell, like the best sellers product, right? So right now we're gonna try to do something on the product. Either we can want it to add for the wish list, and also you can go, especially if you click on the view button, either on that or on particularly in the image. As you can see, that's gonna render the same thing. It's just compiling, and maybe sometimes it's gonna be a little slower in my local network. It's disrupting for the internet, or an Next.js project is nowadays getting much more bigger and heavy, because as you see, there's a lot of things, a lot of data is mingling together. So, but whenever we are deploying it, it might be faster. Now here we can see the details here. So that's the two of the product data is available. We get the title and all the prices, also reviews, also how many people are watching and how much we are saving, and then also weight, warranty, return policy, shipping info, everything is right there for you. And also we're gonna why choose this, all are additional data, and you know the related categorical product is right there. So this is the things, as you can see, this is the speaker. So related can be the headphone, can be the speaker. So all things are just preparing according to that. If we're gonna add to the cart, as you can see, Amazon Eco Plus added to the cart, we already added. If I increase the quantity, it will just increase the quantity. So let's go back to our home page, and as we did, as you can see, the same scenario, because we are just rendering the same cart everywhere. So let's go and add something more. And after that, we are also having the new arrivals. If you want to view more, it will directly go to our like the product section, and that category will be selected. So whatever the category you're coming from, it's gonna go and select by default. Then we have our special offers tag, and then we have our footer. Now from the footer, we can go home, products, categories, offers, and these all are the links for our social media. Then if I try to go in the about page to click on the about, so it's gonna go and render our about page perfectly. And in the About page is all about the Shopee, your trusted multi-purpose e-commerce platform for quality products, our story, a mission, and what's it. So it's all about the company. Then also we can go visit the contact, where you're gonna get the business address, phone number, other properties, and also you can go about any of the inquiry you are looking forward to. Like you can send message directly by fulfilling that form, and also you can go for the call us now button, which gonna is start calling, or you can directly go with the email support if you're looking forward to. And then we can go about the inquiry of the things which we're looking for, like the wholesale orders, B2B partnerships, a customer order, a custom order solutions, and all other setups. So as you see, the support email is already open. I'm gonna just close it. Okay, as I'm not gonna sending the email right now, so let's write that one. Okay, done. Now after that, also you can go about the FAQ, like for the question and answer, the frequently asked question about that. You can go how long ship take. You can also search, like I want to go to about the question for the orders. You see the orders and all other things is coming, or also you can toggle through it. You can remove it, and everything gonna be fine at all. So this is kind of like how you can go and combine it all together. So let's enough talking on that. But as you can see, the settings over there is a new menu here which can help us to access all of our data and other policies. So let's go back to the home. Right now, what we're gonna do, we're gonna try to make a payment status and others. So right now we can go directly in the wish list to see if when you add it, either is added or not. And in the wish list, as we added one of in our favorite, we can just see it's already added. If you wanted to clear that, we can just go and clear it. But right now you want to keep it. And also we can view our entire cart structure. And in the cart, as you see, we have the three product. We have a proper details right here. And in the responsive view, it's going to go and like having a concrete structure on that. So now we see the three products over here. We can't just go for like we can't place the order, and it just mentioned select address to place order. So right now this user doesn't have the order, especially if we just go and reload here in our structure on the Firebase. That's also we're gonna see, because our structure is pretty clear how we're gonna combine and how we're gonna just run through the entire segment. And as you can see right now, this user, which doesn't have it in the order data, which have no orders, as you can see the password, which is combined it all together. And we can see in the profile, we have no addresses right now. So this address is empty. So without address, we can't like go for the checkout. So if we go at shipping address, we can now make that, let's say, I'm going to provide any street of, let's say 20 and house of, let's say 40. And as I'm using in the country code, we are in Bangladesh. So we can now go select any of the city here. I'm going to go in the Mirpur and 12164 the postal code, and I want it to be as the default address. So just we're going to go at address. No, I don't want to save it. So as you can see, as we added the address and the place order button is visible. So right now, as is we need to reload because it's not coming in real time. And no, it's real time. Okay, why I reload? Okay, I forgot, because you're using the Firestore, so it's gonna combine and bring back in the real time. So it was there. As you can see, it was like that. So right now, as you can see, we are already having the addresses. So what we can do, we can place the order. Now, there is some of the changes right now. If we try to place order, this ignore that, because it's just, as you can see, the loading statement is going on in the local, but in the production, it will not be there. So trust me. So now it's placing order. This is also coming because the loading initialization is getting a little bit bigger. It's a longer time. And also you can try to debug it if you are feeling that you don't want it to see. So something I'm keeping for you. Now here, as you can see, the order number is created, which is choose your payment method. And now here we are getting the order. And you see, if we just go directly in your, especially for the payment shopping cart, is empty, because right now what we did, we placed the order. And why we did that? Because like the customer, they can like after placing the order, maybe they can call in the customer care regarding some of the inquiry, or the customer care can reach the client, or for about for other necessary scenario like checking the addresses or other setup, then they can forcefully go any of the payment method. Now here I can go to I can see the shipping address. I can go either cash and delivery. I can also go pay with the card. So this both thing gonna work. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go pay with the card, because we are using the Stripe secure payment method, which is really help us see after placing the order. It's gonna also saving the order in our database. It's gonna go and place everything on there. So now we are no need to tracking every single thing simultaneously, like all together. Now we just landed in our Stripe payment checkout method here. Now here we can just simply pass the default Stripe number here, which is starting from 4242 and then 1235 1234, the CVC code, and just provide the name and hit enter. So I'm going to go directly to pay, and after paying, it's going to go back to like provide in our success page, where all the data is going to show us about the payment and other related data. So this loading going to be at the first time it's going to hint through it, but later on it's going to remove. So this is the success screen, which going to passing that, as you can, the session and order ID, everything going to be passing it directly there. Without that, you can't view that page. And by the way, if we just go and see the structure here, we have the middleware, and especially if we just try to understand the logic of the middleware, you see we have the matcher pages by which without login you can't access, and even we have the matcher pages. Later on we have also for especially for our like the admin admin accounts, which you see the admin route and other, which we are also registering on that to make that. You see the admin account admin, if not it's not an admin, they can't view those pages. So this is how we're going to combining it all together. So if you go try to view the order, so now we can go in our history, order history. This is the order. If you can just see here, and also you can track, and in the tracker it's gonna go just to be providing you hint whatever the status is actually holding on that particular ratio. So this is how it's gonna really work on that. Okay, you see the structure of that. The order is confirmed. Now processing, ship, and deliver. This whole thing's gonna be coming by. We have the summary, we have the product summary, we have all the content details and others. Now we can go and see the profiles of our segment or the style. So whatever the data is holding in our profile account. In the profile, we can view how many orders we have, how many address we have, or how many years I'm logging with that. And also you can edit the profile if you want to change the name and others, or you can add the profile image. It's gonna hold it true, because as you see, we have our storage to just save all the images instead of the third party. As we are using the Firebase, we can now go using that Firebase Firestore on the storage to save our images right here. So right now, after that, we have the current user information, and other tab is right here. So you can go the settings, you can view the addresses, everything is right there to go on the hit. So right now, this is an overall structure from the perspective of the user. So how the user, they're gonna come over here, they're gonna place the order, they're gonna pay the things, and they're gonna leave, right? So right now, as an admin, what kind of things an admin can do about those structures? So now we're going to focus especially building this structure according to an admin. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go sign out from a normal user. Right now, I'm going to use my admin action to log in my admin account. So let's go directly in the login page, and from there we're gonna log in as an admin, because I think we already have an user for the admin account, which is admin. I'm gonna provide my password for that and then hit enter. So after signing, it's gonna be working and extended for an admin user. So as you can see, right now we have an admin, so we have the admin dashboard and others. Also in the settings, we can see the admin and other proportion, and also if you go to the menu, you can just gonna come back there for the responsive view pattern. Now we're gonna view everything as an admin user, so click to view the admin dashboard, and here in the dashboard is change. As you can see, we have total users number, we have the orders, we have a revenue portion, we have the products, pending orders, completion order, completed orders, and others. And by the way, if we go directly click on the users, we can see all the user data is right here, found right here. Now we can click and remove. If I want to remove that user, you see the details is right here, how much is spent, how many orders that user is paid, and everything is going to be there. So this is going to happen in the real time. Also, you can select and delete if you wanted to. Then we can also see all the orders structure. So right now, which orders we have been placed, it's gonna be appearing here as an admin. So right now, as you see, that's the order which we paid, the user just place it here. If we go, we can just change that. Let's say it's gonna be as pending, okay, right? And then also we're gonna just try to change the structure status here. So we can just go, let's say it's gonna be as a shipped. We can just click on that. It's gonna be changing the status on that according to the scenario, so that you can see it's a shipped value. You can also click here like to that view icon. You can see the entire structure. Also, you can delete that order if you wanted to, and you can select multiple orders or all orders, and you can then delete all. So right now, as you can see, the presentation is happened to be as the 20 orders per pages. So this is how we are gonna getting that. We can also refresh the data according to it and go for that. Now after that, we have the analytics. So this is gonna be providing our entire segment. Like you delete an order, right? You can see we have the unexpected order status. So an order is completed. If you delete, even though the payment, it will be there. So that's how it's gonna combine it. So also we have the profile. So this profile gonna structure similar as the user profile. We have the settings. Typically, the admin settings gonna be different, and the user settings gonna be different. You can also delete your account. You can go sign out from here and do all the chit chat and others. So this is the actual overview how you can set things up. I know it's around 30 minutes, but this is actually capturing every single thing. Now this is running from my local, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna ship it in somewhere else, because I'm not gonna running that right now. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use that GitHub link, which is gonna provide you for free, so that you can code with me, you can do all the things which I have been I was doing previously. So you can just go and make things to be happen in a proper way. So first of all, let's go back to the repository, which I'm going to share that to you. So this is the repository which the Shopee e-commerce app YT, and as you can see over here, this is the updated one, and also after this, all the combination which we provide to get the data layer, and this is just coming as a static ratio, which I forget to remove. So now you can get, after cloning, how you can go the live demo here, and also how whatever the structure is right there, product catalog, authentication and authorization method, admin dashboard, design and UX, technical features and others, everything is mentioned here. And as you can see, you can just find an overall project structure by which you can go and grab everything to make an understanding. So this is a pretty much very good understanding how we can combine and do things all together. So this entire project is combining is around 250 plus pages, not the components is right there to be go with the working with the TS or TSX files, then all the Firebase setup and others, those all things I'm going to show you how you can do that and how we're going to deploy it, because we're going to clone it and then we're going to start working on it. So this is the setup for the authentication and all others. I created everything from the scratch, so you can find everything in a very decent way. So this is how we can okay, that's the Stripe setup and others. So you can find, you can read it. So if you read it properly, no need to carry any other property to go and make things to be done by yourself. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just go and make that one as a clone property here. So I'm gonna just open my GitHub Studio. So how you can GitHub desktop here, so you can directly copy that and start cloning in your local in that way, or also you can go and download the zip, or also you can go, that's the one which we're looking for, open with GitHub desktop. Instead of doing that, I'm just doing it manually here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna write the name of that Shopee e-commerce YT. So I think not the app, e-commerce YT. Why is not coming? ECOMMERCE. That should be the name. Okay, I'm gonna copy and paste it. Sometimes it can be okay right now. So I'm gonna clone entire things, whatever the parameter that Shopee e-commerce has, I'm going to cloning it. I'm going to open in my Visual Studio Code. So let's just go. So I'm going to go with you one by one, as I didn't try to make things to be done in a proper way. So everything is new. So that's the first time I'm cloning it for you. So we're going to go it's one by one. So first of all, we're going to try to understand what all are the things we need, we may require to entirely running our application. If we go in our .env, so you better to be open that file which called that readme.md. So these files having entire things to be read by you. So that's up to you if you can read, or if you want to follow me, that's up to you entirely. So first of all, we need to focus on the credentials we need to have. We need to have the Next.js secret, GitHub ID, GitHub secret, Google Client ID, client secret, and the Firebase API key, auth domain, project ID, storage bucket, messaging sender ID, and Firebase app ID. Then also next public shipping threshold is 1000, which we said especially. So if we go in our okay, not that one, so let's close it. If we just go especially for our in the production build here, so what I'm talking about, that one, that's 1000. So this is the one which we are combining there. So right now if we go and okay, that's the ad is running. And if you are feeling very odd with that, please forgive me, because you know the website need to run and need to earn something. So it's just a little bit on that. I'm going to show you how you can also do run ad in your website. If you want to be show that to you, let me know in the comments. Now after that, we need to also get the Firebase project ID, private key, Firebase client email, and the next public Stripe publishable key, Stripe secret key, and that's the API key which we are using for the dummy JSON. So right now what we're gonna do, first thing first, after having everything, either okay, I'm gonna remove that package log later on, because so that it gonna install all the free setup of the data, like all the real data. So first thing first, I'm gonna make that npm install to install entire libraries, entire packages which we're gonna use. As you can see, we are using today so far in the 20th September of 2025 till date. All the latest structure is right here, especially from the Tailwind CSS to others. Everything is running as the latest. So that's what we are building. So I'm going to provide a little bit of time. Let's that things to be installed everything in properly in the data layer. Or one thing we can do while it's installing, as you can see, we need to have the Firebase, right? So the Firebase is going to hold everything. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in the home and I'm going to start creating another Firebase account. So create a new Firebase project, and here I'm going to provide the name, which going to be let's say I'm going to just make that a Shopee YT. Just gonna be a very simple and static name. So let's continue on that. And of course, I'm going to enable Gemini and Firebase, which gonna give us a lot of things to be go and providing by. Also, I'm going to open the analytics over here. I'm going to use the default account for the Firebase. Now create the project. So this is going to help us to create our project. And now also as installed, if I just make that npm run dev, so now let's just also run it localhost 3000 over here, and let's see what's it going to combine. I'm going to close this one, which is going to running in the live. So also here it just start finishing up. So while it's running, we're going to finish set up the Firebase data, right? And for any of the packages, you don't need to install like this Stripe, Firebase, all the things is right there in the packages. So you don't need to install anything. Okay, so whatever the structure is there, that's enough for you. No need to install anything. And as you see, we are using the Redux for our store management and others. So hit continue here. So now this is the Shopee YTB. Make sure you are already within your project here. As you can see, we are right here. I'm going to close the Gemini right now. We're not reading that one. So as you can see, this is the overview here, right? So if we just go here, so we can see the project settings and others. So you're going to go directly in the project setting, and this is the Spark plan is right here, pay as you go. And over here, we're going to set up for our web, as we are running in our web platform. And after that, I'm going to go directly here, the same name. I don't want to get the Firebase hosting. Later on, we may need, or we're going to go set up with the Vercel. So that's up to us totally. Okay, so you see it's pretty getting a very much loading time here. You see why? Because all the invalid key, it's going to provide a very much healthy error right here. So I'm going to keep it. I want to visualize the error so that you can understand why you need to set up the Firebase. You see, API key. So everything the Firebase need to set up, because Firebase is already in the root. If you just check here, this is our Firebase, which coming from our root to go all the configuration here. So we need to set up Firebase properly. Now over here, what we have the API key here. So we can select the key from this positioning here, and then this is gonna be a Firebase API key. So Firebase API key. So here we're gonna put the key, and then we're gonna have the auth domain. So we're gonna copy that, and then we're gonna pass that auth domain here, and also we're gonna grab the project ID. And again, don't try to copy paste whatever I'm typing here, because later on I'm gonna remove that project, and maybe you're gonna happen to be problem to access that, and it's not a good practice to using any other's credentials. So feel free to open your projects and then use your own credentials. So this is the bucket ID. Then also we're gonna have that messaging sender ID. And then also we're gonna have that app ID. So I'm gonna copy that ID. So that should be our Firebase app ID, right? Yeah, app ID. That's it. So, and there another portion here where we are using that. So Firebase client email. So I'm gonna just use my email. Let's say jstips@gmail.com. So that's the email I'm going to provide here. And also Firebase private key. So that's the project ID, the similar project ID what we are using here, because later on we're going to also combine that somewhere. And then we also need to have that Firebase private key, which we're going to compile and combine. So right now we're going to go in our local to see if the project is running or not. As you can see, we can see the loader. So everything I believe it's gonna work in a proper way. It's start shuffling though. So let's see how it's gonna combine and how we can actually do the things. Okay, yeah, cool. We're now here in the row. So we can see the structure. Product is loading up from the API, and all the things can be done, but login and register is still it not gonna work. So I'm gonna go directly in our console, and after console here, as you can see in the build, I need to get three things. First thing is that authentication, and the authentication which gonna help us to go and create the authentication setup. So I'm gonna go click on the get started, and after having that, I'm gonna go with the email and password which need to be enabled and saved. So that's gonna help us to go the email and password. Then I'm gonna go and add a new provider. I'm gonna use the Google provider, and I'm gonna keep it as enabled. And as you see, I need to go confirm our email, and there we can go directly on the SDK. We're gonna come up here later on, and from there I'm gonna go directly open my settings for our GitHub, because as you can see, we also gonna happen to have another provider which gonna be our GitHub provider, and when enabled we need to have that client ID and client secret. How you can create a GitHub OAuth account after the like from the settings in profile, you can directly go in the developer settings for the GitHub here, and you can access that OAuth apps. That's the apps which gonna running to get everything done. So I'm gonna create a new OAuth app which gonna be Shopee YT, and the homepage URL for right now I'm going to keep my local. Later on I'm going to change it whenever we're going to publish that one, so that would be there. And also the authorization callback URL, as you can see, we need to put that one as an authorization callback URL, otherwise it will not work. And also whenever you're going to change that can access in particular way. So I'm going to register my application here. Now one thing, as you can see, you can drag and drop the icon here just to go and make things done, because as you can see, I'm providing everything for you in the public, or not in the public, in the source, and also in especially in the assets we have our small icon. You can use that icon especially to running back here to drag and drop. So right now we need to provide that ID which gonna be the client ID here. So I'm gonna go especially for my account here, I'm gonna provide the client ID, and also I'm going to provide that .env file here. So the file it should be the GitHub client ID, and then we're gonna render the client secret. So this is the one after the client ID. You can see the client secrets. So the secrets can be generated here. So click on generate, and after clicking, it's gonna go with my authentication. I'm gonna just authenticate that one within my app here. You can have multiple like authenticator app or others like via email or others. I'm using the mobile app, so that's fine for me. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna copy that, and you need to be copied at the same time, because if it refresh or saved, you can't do it anymore. So I'm gonna saving that one, and the same secret I'm gonna just pass it here. And after that, let's go back here, and don't forget to update the application. If you don't update, it will not do anything. So we configure the like the GitHub setup. So after that, and as you can see the Google here, and especially there is one more thing which is pending. You see here we have the web client ID and others. So we need to go for that, let's say Google Cloud Console. So here we're gonna go and to enable or verify whatever the data, like the secret, we're gonna initialize and create. Otherwise you can't access the application from that. So right now on the cloud, you need to be make sure you are selected on, you are maybe if you're multiple authentication there, that should be multiple be seen. So as you can see, I'm now in my production. I'm going to go to view all of that, and then I'm going to change directly in the Shopee YT. So it's CF33, and also in my application C0F33. You need to be combined and make sure with that. So from there, I'm going to directly go in the API and services, and I'm going to access my credentials. So now OAuth like for other like the variation or the consent screen is done already by Firebase, because I'm accessing that through Firebase. Now over here we are also be seen here one of the very fundamental, the ID here. So especially if you go directly, you can see that's the ID for 377. So you need to match with the ID. You can see 377. So that's the ID is working. So okay, fine. So I'm going to keep that Google client ID as the ID we are providing here. And after that, I'm going to also get my secret. So this is the client secret right here, which, and also you see that Firebase is working. So either we can go to take that, but we can just go and access a new secret here. I'm going to copy that, and also I'm going to provide the secret here. So I'm going to copy again, and then hit save. So that's the secret which we're going to use, and also I will let that to use that same secrets right here. Now I'm saving that, so all the data need to be properly done, but still you can't go and do login, because remember there we have the authentication, then we also need to have that Firestore database to structure the data, to make the data in real time. Now in our this purposes, so using the Firestore database in the test purposes, so which have the 1 month limited time. So I'm going to go with the standard. I don't want the enterprises, okay, and whatever the default is right there, and I'm going to go in my test mode, not in production. So as you can see, if you in production, you need to go rewrite how many other request time and other property. I don't want to go hassle on that. So we make sure once you are doing from the test mode is every single month you need to change. Otherwise, you need to provide a both month data, like 5 or 1 month or 1 year, so the validation can work on that. So after that, you see my database is created, and for the images here, I need to go to make like the storage need to be working on that. So you can upgrade the project, which you can just simply edit your credential. So as you can see, I'm gonna go and access on that later on to upgrade that. So you just need to go on that. Better you use the pay as you go for the place, or you can just go on particular data, whatever you are feeling better. So right now, one more thing is pending. What is that? We need to go in our settings over here, and from the project setting, we're gonna go in our service accounts, and from the service accounts, we're gonna holding a something very important to go and alter everything, because you see, especially over here in the Firebase, we need to go provide that, especially the editable permission for the admin user. So we need to go to grab that, generate a new private key. You need to grab the private key you're gonna generate, and and after generating, as you can see, it's gonna go and download within your property here. I'm gonna open my over here, and then from that, I'm gonna just go and drag that in my project here. So I'm going to copy that, because we can directly access that, or it's not a good practice to provide the JSON to directly in especially in your repo. So I'm going to just make that it should be line text remover, or the remove line breaks there. So I'm going to just paste it here, and I'm going to remove the line of the breaks. Then I'm going to copy that, and after copying, I'm going to go and pass that in my seamless over here Firebase as a private key, especially here. So as you can see, that's private key. It's going to go on top over, and from this portion here, I am no longer needing that. I'm going to delete that key. Okay, so this will be my new key here, and as you see, it's a long key having a lot of data. You never ever try to pass that key to anybody to share it to get something. It can do a lot of harm, especially in your account and others, so be careful on that. For the secrets, you need to provide a very random number, or you can just simply run another simple code here, which gonna be, let's say, open SSL random number in base 64. It's gonna generate also the secret for you. So you can just copy that secret, and then you can just simply pass it here, and as it's having a equal sign, I'm going to just render it right here. So it's going to generate on that, and you're going to having your secret going to be ready. So what I'm going to do right now, we are having a fresh everything is just fresh, so it's all new. So we need to be very careful how we're going to render and how we're going to do our things in entirely together. So first thing first, we're going to go, okay, there is an issue is running here. So the session out, okay, error auth versions, okay, that should not be there. I'm gonna inspect over here, and then I'm gonna just make an empty cache and hard reload, because sometimes it can be happen to be providing some data noise which gonna be coming from the caching. So I'm gonna just hold it for a second. And as we did so, you see there is no error right now, and this is the providing this is actually providing. I'm just gonna keeping it also especially for you. You can provide your own link if you can publish that one. So there is no loyalty for that. It's free to use. You can just publish it, and then you can sell it. That's up to you. If you want to do it, you are fine. And there is some kind of tricks and tweaks for some of the production ground, for especially if you wanted to like to have a production ready application, then you can access that one. And especially you can also look forward, there is a lot of other application, either another e-commerce or ChatGPT clone or portfolio or any digital assets, or like the cryptography or others. So many things is right here. You can go and just purchase it if you're looking forward to. And you can also be a member over here, especially in that. It's a very simple donation here, which can help me to go directly to do something and make something better for you people. And still, if you're watching, please do like the video and subscribe the channel. email which can motivate me to do something more, because there's a lot of projects which I'm going to provide for you free, so you're welcome to do that things. So right now we're going to go directly to register it, and as you can see, everything's working. All the things is right here to be applicable on that data ratio. So first of all, we're going to go and try to register an user here. As you can see, we are providing the data, so right now that's supposed to work, right? And also make sure in the config here it should be in the local, not in the production. Okay, that should be in the local. Otherwise, whenever we logged in, it's gonna directly render us in our production route. So I suppose I'm gonna make it empty for you, so it will not reroute that here, or I'm gonna keep it. Yeah, so make sure to like entitle it in your local, otherwise it's gonna access all the production route data. So over here I'm gonna use my first one, so let's say I'm gonna go with that, and then I'm going to go with a simple one, gmail.com, and I'm going to provide a password. And if there is a password mismatch and others, you see, it's all going to provide. Okay, I need to agree on that. If there is some mismatch, you see, doesn't match at all. So all the things going to provide you here. So all combination is right here to be set it together. And I'm still confusing. It may, if that email is used before, it's going to go directly logged in if it's in the cookies. So let's see what we're going to do. Account created, yes, it's logged in, so no worries, because like whenever you're registering, you also can change that one from just after let's go and see the register page here. So that's the register component right here. So after registering, what actually we're doing, auth register, and if we just go to visit our API here, so API auth, and that could be the register. So that we can do something more here. If you don't want to logged in after getting that, you see the user doc which we are saving in the documentation, like especially in the doc over there. So yeah, you can just route back to for directly here. So after that, it responses okay, you see we are signed in, so that is making the problem. Okay, so you can just, instead of that, it's just pushing that in, otherwise you can directly write that. You can, instead of doing all of the things, you can just make this okay, and then you can pass that. It will just route back to your sign in page, and it will not logged in. So I'm going to just keep it like that. So that's make a lot of sense here. So now what we're going to do, we're going to try to do a lot of other things, especially if we go in our Shopee, especially also in our Firebase Firestore database. We should be able to see that one user is created and one data layer also created. So you see the users. Now here I'm putting it as an ID. You can also pass that as an email. That's the same thing you can do if you are looking forward to. So right now, what I'm going to do here, as you can see, is USD. So I'm going to go to with the British pound, and you see it's changed to the British pound. So this is very logical to do in that way. I'm going to just go and add some of the more product here. Okay. And add some more. So let's go, we're gonna go and access especially for our card here to go and make a payment. And before making the payment, what we need to do is to provide that our, let's say it should be the next public Stripe publishable key and Stripe secret key. So I'm going to go directly in my Stripe account, and you need to go in that stripe.com over here, and from this particular here you need to go to sign in your Stripe account to go and do the other things. So I'm going to quickly sign in and go to my dashboard from there. I'm going to go use one of my existing account here. Okay, so I'm going to use that. Okay, what's wrong? Let's sign in. So after sign in, we should be able to go any of that like Stripe layer here. So let's see whatever account you're accessing. Now the beauty is that we are not accessing any middleware to save the especially save the orders and others, because whenever you're going to go directly in the checkout route here, so that should be the checkout route. And in the checkout route, you can see we are accessing the Stripe parameter. Okay, we need to set up the Stripe variation and others. We're gonna make those things done later on. But right now, first we're gonna go that grab the to value. Later on, we're gonna go and fill those data layer together. So okay, it's still loading. And from there I can go to create any of the, I can choose any of the account, and as you can see I can create any new account to go by. So I'm going to go with that let's say Shopee YT, and I'm going to keep it as the same as it is. So as we're using the test account, the beauty on that Stripe is that the test and other is a similar concept on that. You just need to go to from the test to production. So right now we're going to access the sandbox Stripe here to go and do the action and other parameter. So if you go, I think we are here in our cart value here. So in the cart now we can go and check like provide the address here. So let's say street, which gonna be 30, and house number we're gonna provide a house of 20, and we're gonna provide a country here. We also provide the, okay, I need to select again, okay, selected, and the city and Maypur, so that would be the zip code. I'm going to provide a default address on that, and even we don't provide by default, it's going to be getting as the default account. So as you can see, it's going to just hitting that route, and as after that is selected, that it's going to fetch it from there. So over here is still, so I'm going to go with the business name here, just continue, or you can just go directly to skip for now. So which gonna I'm going to go and skip for now, so that I'm going to go directly to go to the sandbox account, not in the live account here, because from our country we still can't access this Stripe. So whenever I'm using this Stripe, I'm using that business one, especially modifying a bit, but for the testing purposes I'll have to go with this Stripe. And for that, let's go, we need to have that two credential, which is the publishable key and the secret key. And to do that, let's click on the developer here, and from the API keys we can go and grab the things from there. So this is the publishable key, which gonna be go at the first one, and after the first one that would be the secret key, which need to be going to be in the second one. So again, to make sure, never ever share those keys here, because I'm not going to share, because later on I'm going to delete that account entirely. So in the transactions menu I can see all of my transactionable data here. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna place a order here. So that's placing order can be done, and after placing order we are gonna be making things done to be in a very projected manner. So okay, still placing the orders. Okay, I think yeah, it's done. So let's see, it's coming in API warning and others. I think it's good. Okay, yeah, now compiling the checkout. So it's just doing its things very much slower here. I'm sorry for that. It's because the internet here. Okay, it's still redirecting. So still it's talking on that, loading the data here. Okay, now we can see the checkout page is compiled. Now in the checkout page, again, it's going to loading the data from the structure. So now we can go, either we can go in the cash and delivery, also we can go with the pay with the card. So now pay with the card, it's going to be, you see the Stripe payment on delivery is on the way. So what we can do here, now we're going to go a little bit dig deeper. Where? So right now, if we go in the cart here, so let's say it should be in the cart summary here. So we are gonna having a two type of payment, right? So in the cart summary, we can view every single setup here. You can see the handle checkout. So this is the checkout which gonna placing a 2 or 3 separate proportioning here. So I'm gonna just remove that here. So it should be in our checkout page. So checkout. So here. So in the checkout page, this is in the checkout. So we have the cash and delivery, we have the pay with the card. First, we're gonna go to make the cash on delivery. So I think the function is gonna be, this is the existing, this is the handle cash on delivery, and this is the running directly from here. So first we're gonna set the handle cash on delivery. Then also we're gonna tweak that, especially for the Stripe payment authentication, to make things done in a very better and logical way. So we're gonna provide the data layer. And why I'm going to keeping that, because I want you to try something, right? So in that way you can also go directly debugging on the code, and then also it can help you to learn especially some of the new ideas which can be manageable. Okay, so now for the cash and delivery, what we're gonna do, we're gonna get access to the cash and delivery activity, right? So first of all, to combine and make things done in that way, so we're gonna go, I'm gonna remove that one, and we're gonna make that a try catch property here. So try catch. So this is going to be a function to provide a lot of segment here. So in the catch here, we're going to provide that the error properties which can help us to debug the data. So in the catch property, we're going to go directly on that. So I'm going to go and yeah. So I'm going to make a little bit bigger here. So the error processing, so that's data going to be seeing, we're going to find the error here. And also in the finally, we're going to also make certain kind of action here. In the finally, what we're going to do, we're going to make that set payment processing, processing, which going to be as false as we did it false. You know, we need to make that one as true somewhere. So should be set a payment processing that going to be true whenever we're going to entering within that functional layer. So right now, what we're gonna do actually, so after that, what we're gonna do, we are just gonna make a comment here. What is gonna be passing that, let's say it's gonna update order payment status to completed for COD, for like the cash and delivery, right? So whenever we're gonna hit on that data, it's gonna make an actively for the cash and delivery. So that's what we're gonna processing through it. So especially if we go here and then if we directly, I think we need to reload. No, yeah, it's still yeah, it's already the order is placed, so user already particularly having the orders, is the link and other matching data is there, so we can see find the orders, whatever status the order is holding and how the order is going to running through it. So if we go, no, it's because yeah, it's still in the users menu. You can see, yeah, we have the users. So this is the orders which we are actually holding, that we are having the item, we're having the shipping address, and a status is confirmed and the payment status is pending. So right now, after the payment, we are shuffling the orders in a different layer. So right now, what we're gonna do, we're gonna make for the for the cash and delivery, and I'm gonna make that, let's say const response should be is equal to await, and that await method can fetch the data from there, and our structure gonna be API /orders /update dash payments. So here it's gonna go and do all the tricks here. So right now, if we go directly to go and view that API here, so API /orders and update payment, what actually is doing here, this all things is right here, is getting the order ID, email, and payment status is paid, status is getting from there, and then it's gonna updating the product. So this code is right here for you, so you can just go and testify on that. And that instances, we're going to provide a method, and the method going to be a post method, right? So this is the project data which going to be combining a post method. And over here, what actually typically we're going to passing those kind of data, we're going to go with the method as post. Headers going to be content type is application /station, and in the body stringify, we're providing the order ID, we are providing the status and cash and delivery, and also the status as confirmed. So we are telling that this is going to be as a cash and delivery status ratio here. And after that, as the response is going to be handling, if the response is getting like that, if the response, okay, it's not to be there. So it's going to be out of that. If the response dot okay, so means the response is okay, then we're gonna do something, otherwise we're gonna do something. So right now, what I'm gonna combine is gonna be doing a very smaller typical things. If response is okay, it's gonna redirect us to our account order. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go directly on that cash and delivery. Let's confirm it. So as you can see, it's gonna redirect here. So payment is as you can see, is hitting on that orders update payment. So now it's after updating, it's gonna, as you can see, payment is compiled, and then it's gonna be API orders update payment, and now compiling the account orders ID. So now it's gonna go and redirect to our, according to that particular ID page here, it's gonna redirect. I don't know why it's not changing it here. Okay, yeah, now compiling again. I'm saying that because maybe the local connection here or other problematic situation, it's gonna be passing a bit a very slower way, but it's gonna work. So right now, as you can see, our order is confirmed, processing is there, ship is there, deliver is pending. So right now, if we go in our orders, we can now see one single orders which we place right now that would be utilized here, right? We can just see that orders particularly on that positioning layer here. So after that, so this is gonna be handling on that. Okay, that's the checkout here. Okay, still rendering on that. Let's see how longer it can take. Okay, now we can see that order and the stock, it can be cash and delivery. So now we can see the action here. Okay, so right now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go and make another order to be proceed on that directly for that to go by, especially for that our other parameter. So let's go back here. I'm going to go at the top. So now over here, after the handle cash and deliver, you're going to go the handle Stripe payment method. So let's go back here. We're going to make another payment here. Okay. Let's go to directly in our checkout segment here. Okay, this is just happened to be in the local state here. So the state is providing a bit of slower. Now that user already having that, so we're gonna just directly go in the place order. And one more things here, we're gonna hit a route over here. So in the checkout, especially for the checkout, you see the route, we have nothing over in the route. So we need to go and make all the features which can help us to go directly or individually can access or populate the data. We are having the secret ID. So right now we can go and do other chores. So right now, if we go directly with the pay with the card, we are just seeing that. So right now what we need to do, we need to make especially for the Stripe payment here in the page, we need to go and combine certain kind of things. I keep it in that way so that at least I have something to show you, and also you can entangle with that. And no worries, after that we can also provide the code for you so you can have it all together. So now we are having a try catch property here. So the same thing it's gonna do here for the catching value and others. So I'm gonna go and provide that. So in the catch, we're gonna getting the console log and then also the set payment processing as false whenever we are getting an error data layer here. And on the try property, we also gonna do some kind of things here which we did before. So in the try catch, in the try property, what we are doing, we are making that set payment processing as true, and we're grabbing the Stripe from our local Stripe, so the load Stripe, and the load Stripe we are using from our Stripe here for Stripe.js. So that's the one which is handling all the properties for the load Stripe, and we're providing the publishable key, and we are providing the response to API checkout, and the post is also passing the post method. In the body, we're stringifying on that particular 5 data ratio here, first of all, to provide all the data structures, how we're going to combining it all together. So the first data, we're providing all the items there. We're providing the user email, shopping addresses, and then order ID and also the order amount. So this gonna hit if response is okay, then not okay, it's gonna provide the error here, and if it's okay, then it will make the checkout session which gonna be coming here. If no checkout session, it's gonna provide that error also. If the result is coming here, then we're gonna go redirecting to checkout, which gonna having that session which gonna be checkout session. So that can be there, and if the error is there, we're gonna go processing to error. So we're gonna directly go to our like the checkout session. It's gonna like redirect on that we according to that ID. So let's go back to the route. Here, all the things gonna be passing that. Remember what we are passing in the body. We're passing the 3 data, the items, email, shopping addresses, and the order ID and the order amount. So what actually we are going to do on that particular data structure? Again, the same fundamental things which we're gonna make with the try catch. So I'm gonna just end that return. I'm gonna remove that statement here. I'm gonna use a try catch property. So in the property, we're gonna have a catch property value here. So on that particular catch here, what we're gonna do, we're gonna passing the error, just putting an any, you can do any other structure, which gonna be a checkout error. We're gonna providing the error messages, and it will be a status of 500, and it's gonna be broken whenever we are gonna passing that error particularly. So right now, what we can do, remember, we have a request body, which we are grabbing that, and from that particular structure, we can get that request body, and make sure you are using that await, otherwise it cannot retrieve the data. So remember the 5 data which we are passing there, we are now destructuring from their items, email, shipping address, order ID, order amount, everything gonna be coming from the request body. So now after having those data, right, we're gonna do certain kind of things. We're gonna do 2 things in action. Always use individual items for better display in Stripe checkout, which you're gonna do, and only use order amount as fallback if items are missing or invalid that. So right now I'm gonna go and explain that to you part by part. So first of all, we're gonna go and create that an existing items here, which gonna handle certain kind of commotion here, which as you can see, existing items. If we have the items, like we are passing the items, if we have, and also its length is bigger than 0. So we are making sure that every single thing's having the item property done in a very elegant manner. So this is the items we are sending. If it's 0, it will not go and do anything. So now we are mapping to that. We're getting that price data, how the price is going to be calculated item, and we are grabbing that everything as a cent, because in this Stripe we are like, if I'm using in Bangladesh, so in Bangladesh is a 1 taka having 100 paisa. Similar on that, in the dollar, $1 is 100 cents. If you go in Oman, one OMR, it's gonna be passing as like 1000 paisa. So this is, we are now getting an actual value, because we the cents are counts whenever we're getting the price for the right. So now whenever we're having the pricing, you see we are restructuring that item quantity. It's now there is like, if this item having one, well, if it's 2, it will get 2. Otherwise by default it's gonna combine in one quantity. In the price data, getting the currency, unit amount, and also the product data, getting the product title. The fallback is so many things we are providing. It's up to you. You could simply use the title. We are providing the description, we're providing the images there, we're providing the metadata as the product ID, original price, discounted price, category, order ID. And if so, this is the providing with the calculations here in the combination. If have the items length, then it's gonna go and make things like that. Otherwise it's gonna go directly on the order amount, whatever the amount we are passing. So it will go directly in the fallback, and the order amount is actually passing that data layer. You see the existing order dot amount, so it can go and combine with the existing order. And otherwise also it's gonna be passing that quantity 1 price data. We are providing a dummy data to go and make things done in a very legit way, otherwise empty array. But pretty much that's the first amendment can do the things. So if either without checking, if you just like extracting items, you can go directly on that item.map and do only the first statement. That also be fine for you, and it's gonna do the things. Most of the time I'm doing the first things, so that is really legit on that way. Later on we're gonna make that validate line item. So if there is no existing items, or extracting items, or extracting items dot length is nothing, means we are not having that one what we are talking about, then we are providing an error, and the error combining to say that no valid line items found. Now after that also we need to validate each line item, that for our safety, because we are handling everything, because these things is happening in the server. We need to cover as much as like the fallback ratio or fallback data structure as possible, otherwise we can't get the actual value. So what we're doing, if like the item is of extracting items, if no price data is there, no unit amount there, no unit amount is not is equal or smaller than 0, then also passing that invalid price item. So this is a very legit way to go and combine on that. And after, if everything okay, then we are gonna make the call to generate the session from the Stripe. So the session is coming from the await stripe.checkout the session.create, and you can see the Stripe is right here. We are handling and providing that, so all things is set up for you. You just need to go and consent on that. We're making the payment method types, which gonna be a card. Line items gonna be the extracting items here, or also you can go map and do things here, it will also work. The mode, it will be payment. Success URL gonna be whatever the next auth URL which we are providing, especially if we go and see the ENB, we are providing the local. If you're providing in your production URL, it will route back to the production. So the session checkout, session ID, checkout the order ID, otherwise the cancel URL, which going to be directly go in the checkout proportion. The metadata, passing the email, order data, which going to be the new order date, gonna be the new date, item count, which going to be the total items count, shipping address, going to be shipping address, and also the order ID. And you see how we are stringifying on that. Otherwise, it will, you cannot directly inject the data here, because remember we're extracting that. It's a JSON data. So before sending that in the route, we need to stringify. Whenever we are sending, we need to stringify that. We need to make the entire data as a string. Whenever we fetch and we are gonna using in our application, we need to make it JSON. That's simple, because in our application we can use the JSON for JSON credential, but in our we are talking in the route, we are sending in the network, we are compressing everything as a string value. Also providing the order ID, order amount, and customer email as email. So this is going to help us to create our session. Now, after creating the session, also we need to go and do one very important thing is here, which gonna be create and update order in the database, right? So this is the function gonna do a lot of things. Also, I think that need to be okay. Status. Okay, I think I create in the wrong place maybe. Okay, that should generate. So this is the session. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna just make things very clear. Okay, so this is the session. Yeah. So if this is the session, are we in the good place here? So we are having the try value here. So let's just see. Now we're good in the positioning, so we also need to import those statements here. So which gonna be Firestore, and we can just go and import it all together at the top. So that's the doc we need to provide, and also we need to provide that status here. So I'm gonna just go and do all the setup here, so that would be very easy. So you see we are having this type property because all things is right there, especially for the db config and others, the collection configuration. If you go in the db config here, you see the configuration here. So all things is right there, which is created for you. So now what we're doing, we're going to create or update the order in the database. So this is the very important one. So in the order reference, we're going to getting the reference as orders, and then we're going to set doc on that according to the email. We're providing the items on particular items, then we're going to also matching the total amount on there. Then we are passing the shipping address, we are passing the order ID and the status, which going to be status as pending, and the payment status, payment method, user email, created at, updated at, and also the status history, which going to combining all the history there. Then we're going to also using the payment history to go and update the product structure. And if everything going to be do right on that, checkout session created successfully, success true, ID gonna be session.id. So this is a lot of things gonna be in a hectic way. So right now what we're gonna do, we're gonna use the pay with the card and hit pay. So now it's gonna go and processing on that particular manner, and you see it's compiling API. Our route, which is here, is the checkout route. So it's gonna go. So in that way, this is the gonna be calling an API, which gonna gonna go and take the place on there. You see here. So okay, forget about that. And the checkout order ID. So this placement is done. Now it's gonna go and Stripe, and now I can choose my local currency or also in the Stripe like the USA currency from there. So I'm gonna go with my default scenario here, 4242, and then 1235 123, and then I'm gonna go with my name here, and after that hit pay. So what it's gonna do after doing that processing on there, remember the main things, the scenario which we just rerunning here, what it's gonna do here, we also grab that. It's gonna go and provide that segment here. You see redirect to checkout and according to the checkout session.id. So in the ID, we in the meantime we also explain whatever it's gonna go, especially it's gonna go the success screen there. So the success screen gonna combine a lot of other things. I think whenever we created the session, we did that. You see in the success screen, I'm gonna passing that according to the order ID. So the payment is successful. So now we can go the view address, view my orders, or you can go the continue shipping. So let's go to view my orders, right? And then you see we can view the orders. So this is one by paid with the card, and another is confirmed with the cash on delivery. So this is the one which can really helpful for us. So right now we're gonna go and try to satisfy another user as an admin user, which can perform any admin setup, right? So we're gonna go and create another user which gonna have our admin status and admin directory and admin layer, because remember, an admin user can update everything, but first in our database we doesn't have any user as an admin user, right? So we need to go and combine it all together. So we need to go and create a user which can have the admin. So I'm gonna make that, let's say, admin user. So that should be admin@gmail.com, and for the admin user we're going to provide some of the bigger property here which cannot be cracked. So agree and create the account. So now we are going to registering. You see, every time I'm hitting, it's talking in the API and is just getting in the server side because this hit in the server. Right now, if we go directly here in our users, we can see another users, right? So first things, we need to do the manual setup for the admin for the first time. You see the role here? So I'm going to go in the role. So in that role, I'm going to make it as an admin. So update that one, because the first time we need to manipulate the database, but the next one, it's gonna be automatically update the status. So I think it's gonna be rendering the new user. Let's see, either we need to go again logged in, or maybe it can go and capture. So let's go. You see, it's already there. It's captured the latest data whenever we make that as an admin. Now, I'm really sorry about that. There is something which you may not see in the admin panel, because in the admin, which I showed you here, as you can see, now I'm going to provide you a bit of room so that you can play your game, right? And what you can do is here, especially in the source app user, and over here in the let's say it should be on that particularly in the account, and here in admin, right now you can see there is no pages here. It's only a single pages, because which I did, I keep so many things for you which can really be untangled for yourself. What we did, we provided admin dashboard directly to access for the upgrade to premium. If you click, you can just redirect back to the here, which can be accessible, because this is going to be a production made up mode. So we are just keeping that one for that purposes. But there is the catch. There is all the setup is there, how you can create the pages, how you can call the data. API is there. I think also some API you can find in your API for the admin route. Also, if you go in the profile, you can directly route back to, especially for the property which can be providing for the profile and others. So right now, as we have everything here in our hand, we can go and deploy that one, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go and provide that the credential over here, as you can see, .env credential, which we don't want to provide that. So right now we can go and upload it in the Vercel. If you can do it, let me know in the comments. If you cannot do it, let me know in the comments also, because if I got like the 5 people, they cannot submit in the Vercel their entire product. Let me know in the comments. I'm gonna show you how you can deploy that entire project in Vercel. So this is just everything for you people for today right now, because, and also by the way, you can find the responsiveness right here. So all things are working perfectly here. So this is a very competitive way to go and build a structure. So right now there is so many things pending. So let me know in the comments which part you're feeling it better and how you want to do it in the next. So I think try to use it, try to clone that one and modify that one, make your own application game and make it better. And I'm gonna see you in the next build, where we're gonna build up so many other projects which can really help you to build your career and help you to learn something more. So all the best. I'm gonna see you in the next video.